I'm trying to say this in a way that doesn't sound egotistical. We don't look at our competition for video on iPhone to be other smartphones, right? We think that the competition for video on iPhone are professional camera systems.
For a closer look at iPhone 15 Pro, the most pro iPhone we've ever created, here's Jaws.
iPhone 15 Pro is packed with industry first.
Greg Joswiak Apple 负责全球营销的高级副总裁，大家都叫他 Jaws。他在1986年加入 Apple， 经历过 iPod、iPhone、App Store 各种产品和服务的发布。我上一次见到 Jaws 是在2019年的 iPhone 11发布会以后，当年我们还在观察 iPhone 3颗摄像头之间非常平滑的切换动效。而转眼之间 iPhone 15 Pro 系列上面已经推出了普通用户需要的5倍长焦、专业用户喜欢的 Log 模式，以及为 Vision Pro 铺路的空间视频。在长假期间，我和 Jaws 通了一个越洋长途，我们聊聊 iPhone 15 Pro 系列背后的想法和故事。那么大家好，欢迎收看今天的平凡开箱。Hello,
Steven, how are you?
Hi, Jaws. Haven't seen you for long.
I know, this is so fun. This is like, I've been looking forward to this.
Yeah, that's really great. So, congratulations first on the pretty successful launch on the new iPhone.
Thank you. I'm sure we'll talk about it in the interview, but I look, we get excitement every year for new iPhones, but I can't remember people being more excited than they are for the iPhone 15 Pro. It's just blowing people away.
Among so many new features, especially on the Pro line, which one is your favorite?
Yeah, well, we love to say, and you heard Tim say that, the Pro products really represent our biggest and best innovations, right? And really we look at those in, some key areas: design, performance, camera, and of course there's other stuff as well. But so if I look at the design, I think everybody's been blown away by titanium. It's such a strong, lightweight, and beautiful material, and it's got this incredible strength to weight ratio. So it means we can make this really strong iPhone, yet it's so much lighter. And it's lighter. You picked it up, you held it, you know that it actually is, you feel how much lighter it is. And these are the lightest, Pro products we've ever done. So I think that has people very excited. And the rounded contoured edges are a big deal too. It's just more comfortable in your hand. So between the lighter weight and the comfort, I think that's a big deal just from the moment you pick it up. But we also know that our customers in China love performance. And, it's I think the place that they understand our chips and our performance story more than anywhere else. And this is one of our biggest stories ever for performance for iPhone is the A17 Pro chip, because it really is a gigantic step forward in performance. The biggest area I would say is the graphics processor, the GPU. The fact that it's, it's, as you heard us say in the keynote, it's the biggest redesign and graphics processor in our history. So it's not just faster, it's new capabilities, smoother graphics, allows you to do gaming on an iPhone that just couldn't be done on a smartphone before. And to us, that's always exciting when we can enable new things. So, and then of course the camera system, as I said. So, design, performance, camera is an unbelievable camera system. And we've taken the Pro features, even further. We've allowed you to do things now in post-production. We allow you to take amazing photos at 24 megapixel default, even though of course you can do even more easily do a 48 megapixel image. USB-C, action button to do everything quickly. So that's my single favorite feature, all that.
Okay, yeah, that's a big list, right? So we will have more questions about the camera system. But before that, you mentioned titanium.
Yeah.
Did you decide years ago that we are going to use titanium? So we test it on the Apple Watch Ultra, and then we go to iPhone.
Yeah, our history with titanium, Stephen, goes back even further than that. You may remember we did a power book a long time ago.
Oh, yes.
A power book that was made out of titanium. So we've had some experience with it. It was a material we always loved. And to your point, we've loved using it on the Apple Watch Ultra. And I think that was one of the surprises to our customers with the Ultra. It's a bigger watch than we had with the Series 8 or now the Series 9, but when you put it on, it didn't feel heavy.
Yes.
And the reason it didn't feel heavy is because of titanium. So certainly we knew that we continue to add more features to our Pro iPhones, and including more sophisticated camera systems that often added a little bit of weight. And that weight started to add up. And so we needed a way to say, look, we want to continue to add those great features, but we want to be able to reduce the weight because weight does matter. Of course, it's a product that you carry with you. And titanium gave us that opportunity, and we couldn't be more excited, for how it's turned out because, even though it's in the grand scheme of things, it's a small amount of weight. Well, on a device like that, you really feel it.
So the next question, let's go to the camera system. This is the first time you see different camera systems on iPhone Pro and Pro Max. Are you doing some secret A/B testing between the two models?
Yeah, no, nothing like that. We've had to do that in the past on occasion, and the reason is that the Max, the iPhone 15 Pro Max, gives us a little bit more size to play with. Because what we wanted to do was to have this very long focal length, as you mentioned, 120 millimeters. But as you know, there's physics involved as to how far the light has to travel from the lens to the sensor. And the longer you make that focal length, normally the larger the bump that you have on the back of a phone, or of course even a bigger camera, it has to have that light has to travel a certain amount of distance in order for the physics to work. And what we did is we designed a tetraprism mirror that allows you to have that light bounce inside of the iPhone to the necessary length in order to achieve that long focal length. So it's very cool, but that is a mechanism that's slightly larger, and that's why we put it in the Max. And by the way, in addition to the tetraprism design, we had to have an optical image stabilization system that would marry nicely with it. And we're the first ones to ship this new autofocus 3D sensor that allows you to do this really incredible stabilization, because that's important, because if you've used other devices that have a long focal length or a zoom rate, you see a lot of movement when you move the phone. And you don't see that at all with the 15 Pro Max. So we're very proud of that.
Yeah, we've tested the stabilization system in the lens. It's pretty good. But here's a question. If you are going to only take one iPhone today from the iPhone 15 Pro, between iPhone 15 Pro or iPhone 15 Pro Max, which one are you going to choose? Like between 3 times and 5 times?
Well, I've been a Max customer for a while. I love the big screen.
Okay.
I love the big screen. So even if it weren't for the fact that you have the 5X telephoto in there, I would choose the big screen. I love it. And one of the things I should have mentioned when we talked about design is, we were able to just slightly squeeze down the dimensions because, we continue to shrink the borders. So the whole thing, it works in your hand. So I think this is the most comfortable Max is ever going to feel, even with somebody who maybe has a smaller hand. So to me, that's the choice. I can't speak for everybody, but I'll take that one all day long.
That's good. So the next question is about your future secret tech. That's a spatial video. I've been to the Vision Pro lab in Shanghai because I'm also a developer. That spatial video watching experience on Vision Pro was mind-blowing to me. And now we can capture it with our new iPhone.
Yeah.
Which idea comes first?
Well, let me start off. I'm going to say there's another type of photo we took that's going to be maybe an opposite story when I'm going to tell you spatial videos, and that's panoramas. You put the Vision Pro on, you've seen that. So many things look amazing. But one of the things that we think is really amazing is you take a panorama with your iPhone and you get this beautiful 180-degree view of the world around you. They look pretty cool on your iPhone, or they look cool if you put them on your bigger display. But when you put a Vision Pro on and you look at this panorama and now it wraps around you as you then turn your head, you think we thought of this 10 years ago or 8 years ago when we designed panoramas, that we knew a Vision Pro was coming. Because it looks like we made that feature for Vision Pro. Because it is like, wow, I am back. Whether in this vista, in this picture I took of, and it's one of our favorite things to do, because in our photos it automatically puts your panoramas in an album for you, is to go look at those in a Vision Pro. Now with the spatial videos, it's a little bit different. The reality is we developed Vision Pro and loved this, as we were in development of it, loved these spatial videos. We're like, oh my goodness, this we've never seen anything ever before that took us so much more back into the moment when you took that picture than spatial videos did. And so we were enamored by it, right? And as you know, seeing the demo, It's amazing. And when people are just blown away when they see the demo, and that's by seeing somebody else's family, just seeing somebody else's friends. When you see your own, you're going to melt. But we knew that, in order to take those, if you had to rely on the Vision Pro, you're not going to be wearing your Vision Pro everywhere you go.
Yes.
Right? And so that's where we said, okay, we want to figure out how to make this work with the iPhone, because that's the device you have with you everywhere you go. So let's figure out how to build this into the iPhone so that we can then enjoy these on our Vision Pro. And by the way, just like panoramas, they still look great on your iPhone. And they'll still look great on a bigger display, but you're going to put the Vision Pro on and you're going to go, wow.
Yes. When I saw the panorama on Vision Pro for the first time, it was like you are getting into the scene. You were here.
Yeah, you do feel that the three-dimensional aspect, of things, it's just, it's unbelievable. And I think that's where,
yes,
we did the best job we could in June of giving people an experience and the keynote of understanding, how cool Vision Pro is. But as you know, from putting it on your head, there's nothing like wearing it, right? There's nothing like that experience that really kind of just blows people's headway. And one of the advantages we have at Apple is we build so many great products that can work together, right? We're proud of the fact that the watch works with the phone, works with the Mac, works with your iPad, and all that. The integration between the products, so the experience is so seamless. So of course it was natural for us to say, how do we extend that experience, between phone and Vision Pro? And this is one of the many ways we do that.
I can see tons of new opportunities, new possibilities from Apple Lock. So the question is, how did you find this idea, this crazy idea to bring something belong to the Pro cameras to such a small device?
It's a great question, Stephen, because we have such incredible camera systems. I'm trying to say this in a way that doesn't sound egotistical. We don't look at our competition for video on iPhone to be other smartphones, right? We think that the competition for video on iPhone are professional camera systems. And so our goal has been, how do we make sure that we're at that quality? Because as I mentioned, we just visited a news agency the other day. They said most of what they shoot now is on the iPhone.
That's right.
Right? We talked to professional photographers. A good portion of what they shoot for both stills and video is iPhone. So we have this community, right, that is using this already for professional uses. Mm-hmm. But one of the things they've told us, of course, they want to do more in the post-production, right? They want to be able to do more color grading. They want to do things that they're used to doing with their more sophisticated cameras. So as we meet constantly with this community and understanding what are their needs, this is one of the needs they told us. They want to be able to do more color grading things in post. And so that was an area that we invested ourselves in our software engineering teams, and to say, how can we do log encoding? How can we do ACES, the standard now for doing this sort of color correction? And boy, we're so happy. Our team showed me a video they cut that would between these very expensive cameras intermixed with iPhone, and back and forth, and literally the only way I could tell the video changed is it would say iPhone 15. It would then say the name of the other camera. It is now seamless in quality, which to me is incredible.
Apple is such a big company. iPhones are used by tens of millions of people every single day. So why such a small Pro feature will take so many manpowers behind it, will take such a long time on the keynote event? Why?
Yeah, because our goal, Stephen, is always to be the best. We just want to be the best. And we're also very big on doing things that are important to our users. And sometimes, you're right, we have 1 billion iPhones out there. And sometimes we're going to do features that are important to a small crowd. Accessibility is one of those, by the way, because we think it's important. Sometimes we're going to do things that are great for a mass amount of people. But you never know, over time, some of these things that start off small end up being used by a lot more people. And we have tended to have users that are on the cutting edge of things. We've tended to have products on the cutting edge of things. And I think that's one of the reasons that we do so well in China, right?
Yeah.
Is Chinese customers are on the leading edge of things, right? They want the future. They don't want the past. They want what's coming, not what's been. And so to us, I think that's a perfect match.
You are spoiling Apple's users and developers, I would say. So compared to the years when you first launched App Store globally, how do you compare the developers from those years to today's developers?
That's a great question. First of all, it's one of the favorite parts of my job is, one of the, I have the developer group in my organization. And, look, we're inspired by developers. Our lifeblood is developers. We do that. Our Worldwide Developers Conference every June is dedicated to supporting our developers. So they're very, very important to us. And again, Stephen, I've been around for a long time, including, here for the launch of the iPhone and the launch of the App Store. When we launched the App Store back in 2008, we didn't know what to expect. We knew we had this incredible device. We thought we had created some pretty good software development, an SDK and a bunch of tools for our developers, but quite honestly, we didn't know what to expect. You probably have heard me say before, Steve was hoping maybe we get 50 good apps on day one, and we had 500. And that should have been and it was a sign of things to come, where we were now touching something very, very big, right? And one of the things that I was always proud of is the fact that the App Store changed software development and software distribution forever, right? In days prior to that, it was a very small club that could develop software. You had to be established. You had to have somebody to publish it. You had to, the economics were terrible. And we changed all that because we gave every developer access to every iPhone customer around the world, on day one of their app being available. And it allowed what were then very individual and small developers often to be large ones. As a matter of fact, I was in China a couple months ago. We met with people who started off as small developers and were now much larger developers, right? All because of the App Store. And so to me, that's music to my ears. That's what I love. So they were hungry, they were small, they were growing. And we still have that today. We are doing so much, Stephen, to try to nurture the next generation of developers. We want to keep it so that there's always going to be this energy. We have, you mentioned, we have the Design and Development Accelerator in Shanghai, that we're trying to bring together developers of all sizes, to meet with our Apple engineers and experts. We do fun things like we have annual app contests, where we have students from universities across China to create apps that focus on social issues, accessibility, sustainability, health. We host workshops all around China, to help, our developers grow their design and technical skills so they can create even better apps. We've got a curriculum of Everyone Can Code that's dedicated to the world's best coding resources and bringing them to China. So we want to continue to invest in new developers, but we want to make sure we're serving our existing developers. It's our lifeblood, right? It's very, very important to us. And China is so important, and so many great developers that serve not just China, but serve the entire world.
Yeah, I think that's an amazing job because it's really great to see the young faces who wanted to be great in app development. When I see them, I see the passion. When this generation is getting old, you see the young blood coming up and they want to beat you. They want to make something better than you. And that feels really good.
It feels great for all of us, right? And it's going to be great for our users because, there's always going to be a need for something new and better.
Yes.
Always going to be a need for something new and better. And so we want to make sure that we're helping people get there. And, and as you know, we also invest across developers in our tools, our frameworks, over 250,000 APIs available to developers to solve difficult challenges. But we always want to continue to invest in our developers. It's an important, very important thing to us.
Thank you, Josh. That's all my questions for today.
Stephen, I enjoyed this. I love talking to you. You bring great questions. You can tell I'm very excited about what we do, and Very excited about the impact we're having with the iPhone 15 Pro right now. People are very excited.
So stay in touch, and we are making some new features based on Apple Lock. That's amazing, and we are trying to make it a better experience compared to iOS camera.
I love it. I can't wait to see what you're coming up with. I know your apps are fantastic, so I'll look forward to the updates.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. I appreciate it.